For the past 2 years, national politicians, organizations, police forces, and businesses have been preparing for the Republican National Convention to arrive in Cleveland next week. This week, the Vindicator has been meeting with residents and experts to discuss what Clevelanders should expect. We sat down with Dr. Richard Klein, researcher and instructor at Cleveland State University, to gain a better understanding about the impact that the RNC will have on our Rust Belt city. Dr. Klein, thank you so much for joining us. To start, please give us a general understanding of the impact on Cleveland that the RNC will have.
Whether we are Republicans or Democrats, independents, whatever we may be, the arrival of the RNC, the choice of Cleveland as a site, is beneficial not only in giving us positive exposure as a city on the rebound and on the rise, but it also is a prime example of a city that welcomes people of diverse thinking. We are not traditionally, Cleveland is not traditionally in modern times a Republican city.
In addition to the benefits that Dr. Klein mentioned, Cleveland businesses will also get a boost from the RNC coming to Cleveland.
But for the business community, it can be a boom of a lifetime. Because not only are these people coming in to nominate candidates and to choose a platform for their particular party in this instance, they are also here to establish old friendships, to reestablish connections with fellow politicians and business leaders, and also to enjoy the cultural, the economic, and the social benefits of the community at hand.
Next week, an estimated 50,000 people are planning to come to Cleveland for the Republican National Convention, and part of that group includes media representatives who are going to be shining a spotlight on the city for the week. However, Dr. Klein explained that Cleveland will be prepared for this.
Information is only as valuable as the sources it comes from. People have to visit a place, have to spend some time in a place to get a feeling about what that community is like. And Cleveland, to me, is the quintessential American city in the sense that it grew up during the early years of this republic. It prospered during a time when our economy was basically promoted by a large factory system. Mm-hmm. And we were also a city that was dedicated to the auto and manufacturing industries that served a world base. Cleveland was a national, and it still is, a recognized national headquarters for a lot of companies.
In fact, this isn't the first RNC that Cleveland's hosted. The previous RNCs hosted in our city were in 1924 and 1936.
We hosted the RNC in 1924. We hosted the RNC in 1936. Nevertheless, Cleveland has a tradition for hosting these kinds of events, and so Cleveland was prepared to do it again.
And how does this RNC differ from those previous RNCs in 1924 and 1936?
Well, it differs in the sense that I think this RNC may be a little more provocative than the other ones were, a little more outspoken than some of the others were. In part, it's due to the candidate himself, Donald Trump, of course, who is a colorful politician, to say the least. But it's also due to the times that we're in, too. The country is in a crossroads right now. We're not sure exactly where we're going. We have a good idea where we're going, but we're not exactly sure. And as the economy becomes even more global, the question that comes in is, how are we as a people going to deal with it?
As mentioned, some of those changes include the new candidates that are coming to town, as well as the social atmosphere that the nation is experiencing. However, the Republican National Convention still serves the same purpose.
And first, you have to realize that the convention itself is geared to do several things. One is to bring party stalwarts together in a central location where they can communicate. Communicate what? Well, communicate their feelings, their fears, their joys, whatever related to this whole political process. But they also, in the process, choose a candidate for president in this case. They're also choosing a party platform. in which that party will stake its reputation through its platform into the next election. And that's what basically they are doing. They're also indirectly or behind the scenes thinking about what the future of the party should be as well, and what steps need to be taken over the next several years to ensure the growth of the party and to ensure that its doctrines remain within the sphere of what Americans want.
For more than 2 years, Cleveland and the United States have been preparing for the RNC to come to the city. And so although there are some fears of riots or clashes breaking out, Dr. Klein reassures that this can and should be a smooth sailing convention.
A large convention like this meets, and when it's in a volatile period in our history, that will naturally ensure rioting and commotion within the city, caused in large part by what they think of as dissidents who are there to fight the system. In reality, it can be a wonderful opportunity for outside groups to express what they're thinking if they can do it within peaceful bounds. That's the key importance here, is the thing about being within peaceful or respectable bounds. If they can do that through lawful marches, through lawful protests, through quiet protests that get their points across in a way that will make them appear both good to their peers as well as to the community around them, then that's important. And people, I think, are generally scared. Our students are scared. Our faculty members are scared. You get a general feeling throughout society that it's fearful. Not fearful of living, but fearful of the unknown and what might provoke something that's terrible. The recent cases in Dallas, Minneapolis, St. Louis, represent Baltimore, illustrate exactly how much of a thin wire we are walking on in terms of society. And I think we, as educated individuals, those that are educated, increasingly more and more people are, should be aware of that and try in some way or other to overcome that and realize that beyond that, there is a brighter tomorrow.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Klein. We've gained some really interesting information about what has taken place at previous RNCs here in Cleveland and what to expect in the coming week. To stay up to date with more news and information surrounding the Republican National Convention and events on and near Cleveland State University's campus, make sure to check out our blog post at www.thevindi.com. Also follow us on Facebook at The Vindicator, and watch for our tweets on Twitter at Vindi_CSU.